Hey everybody, this is Muffin with the Daily Biker Podcast. Just here to let y'all know the opinions and ideas expressed in this show are those of the hosts and their guests, not to be confused with their partners and sponsors. Now, let's get it on.
Hey guys, this is Sean from the Bikes and Beards YouTube channel, and you guys are listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You're gonna love it.
Mine when I'm like, I send customers to our dealership all the time.
Yeah.
For stuff, because there's at the end of the day, it's customer service, and there's products that they sell that I could order 5 different sets of handlebar for a guy, but I know that a set of reduced reach handlebars fit best on a 2010 Street Glide for a guy who has a backrest.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I've tried every other. Chromeworks has a bar close, but the Chromeworks ones aren't throttled by wire.
Could you notch it?
The tubing's too thick. I've been through that. Yeah. Guy said he had 07. I said, great. He shows up. He's got 08. I was screwed.
Yeah.
So, well, there's some people dropping off, but luckily I can see in that mirror, and hopefully they won't
pay no attention.
I'm going to let them. Joe's good. My phone's off over there, too.
So, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. I give everyone a scare right at the beginning.
I love it.
My name is Marcus. I am your clueless leader. Today we're going to go on a learning journey. I've got Joey's returning with me. Joey, your mother called.
What's up, guys?
But we do have a special guest coming all the way to us. Well, he didn't come to us. I guess we came to him. We're still in bright and sunny Panama City Beach, Florida for the Spring Thunder Beach Motorcycle Rally, and we're currently at 850 Speed Shop, and I have Vaughn.
What's up? I guess this is internet, the universe, so it goes out. Everybody's gonna hear this, yeah.
Everybody. Well, you're definitely gonna have more people that know who you are after this. I mean, you already look at what we had yesterday. You already got a pretty decent amount of people that know who you are. But like for me, I've been coming down here since 2009, and I didn't know about you until a couple years ago when I met Joey and Phil.
Yeah, we actually, I got big in motorcycles here, and motorcycles pretty much took over at about 13. So we'll say 10 years. I mean, motorcycle, it's always been my life, but Harley's full time at least 10 years now. I've had a business here for longer, but I did, custom fabrication and car radio, and I just like to build cool stuff.
Well, I think for a lot of the people that I personally know, coming out of like that Chattanooga, tri-state area and stuff like that, a lot of us knew Brian already, being from that area. So a lot of people pushed down here. But you and Brian have a working relationship. We talked about that before and stuff like that. But I see two different vibes. When I walk into the shops, I definitely see two different vibes. So how does that dynamic work?
It works good because we have a completely different customer base. Brian's always, Brian does a lot, some bigger stuff, if that makes sense. Like I'll see him do these crazy, $30,000 and $40,000 bikes, and I'm like, man. And then the headache and the stress that comes with that sometimes, and it's fun, So
I see with some of your customers, you got the guy that goes, dude, I picked up a broken Dyna for $4,000. I got 6 I want to put with it. Yep. What can we do?
Yep, and it's the beach kind of has a diverse population, so like. He doesn't want half of my customers, and I gladly take half of his. We swap customers all the time, but there's such a difference in personality.
Yeah.
And it is. Sometimes I go over there and I'm like, man, I love it, and every shop in town is like that here. I mean, none of us do the same thing at all, but at the end of the day, we all like motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I mean, Brian and I have always like, if I go down a river and hang out and do absolutely nothing for the day and get sunburnt, it might be with Brian.
Yeah.
And it's like customers don't know that. They think we all fight in the street like Anchorman. That
would be a great thing. If that ever happens, make sure you get it on video.
And it's always like that. So, and most people actually don't know that we looked at that big blue building years ago.
Yeah.
So years ago, Brian had a business, like a partner investor guy, and the three of us were gonna do something big together. Brian was gonna sell everything, and even his wife Christy was gonna put a hair salon in the end of it. Yeah. And I pissed off Brian's business partner. So I took myself out of the equation. So he had like $150,000 Eddie Trotta bike, and he rolled up to the front of my shop and he just pointed at his tire and he said, "Air." And I said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "Air." That was it.
It's what goes in the tires.
I said, "Oh, you need air in the tire." So I got down. I ended up pulling it around, and I said, "Man," I said, "you'd think for $150,000 they'd powder coat these wheel spacers because it has stock wheel spacers on that bike." And I don't think we ever talked again ever.
Do you know how many people that I've pissed off with their custom show bikes, been at a show, and they're laying frame and stuff like that, and I'm getting down on the ground and looking underneath the saddlebag, and they're like, "You can't see the rear wheel." I'm like, "I see it right now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, you could have at least color matched it."
Yeah.
Even if you didn't change the wheel, hey, I can just see the lip. Cool. You have a colored or a chrome front wheel or whatever, and you've got a regular rear wheel or a black rear wheel that's not even close.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you're parked, you're right, you can't see it. But when you raise it up and you're going down the road and everybody's taking pictures, you can absolutely tell it.
Yeah, it's the details, and that's Brian's got his own eye for things in a different style. We're so intermixed. Like there's parts that he has on bikes and jobs he work. We all work with kind of the same painters, kind of different. But from this side, I only know what I like, so I fill a storage unit full of stuff that I like, and I love this. Brian's come over here a few times. He brings customers over there like he wants a space like this, and I'm spoiled to have it. But from a customer side, what do y'all feel is the difference? Because you have dealerships too. So what is
right? I feel like almost in 2023. I have to be very specific in saying in 2023, what you deal with is almost the land of misfit toys. Okay? Because, do you have some choppers here? Yeah. But they're not the big chromed rake out, big dog choppers. They're like this red one by the door.
Yep.
That, to me, is gorgeous. That
Thank you.
20 years ago, people were building that out of a magazine for $10,000.
Yep.
And having an awesome freaking bike. And when I sit there and nitpick it, it's like, those aren't the most expensive wheels in the world, but they look fantastic on that bike. And then just, Dynas and FXRs, although everybody rides them, it is outdated technology. It's to make I've talked about it several times on the podcast, to make a Dyna and FXR a good bike. It's not that it's not a good bike to start with, but to make it perform, like if you're going to try and put it up against a brand new Softail, you've got to put $10,000, $15,000 in that bike.
Oh yeah.
So it's really what I see. I see these same customers. A lot of them aren't your local guys. You've got your local guys that stunt and ride Dynas and have a good time and stuff, and they go back and forth between y'all. But when I roll up in Brian's parking lot, most of the time I'm going to see someone with a bagger. Whether it's a big wheel bagger or something, there's a bagger guy there.
And we had a couple last night, but
you had an eclectic mix of street glides and T-bars in the parking lot last night too.
And that
I just feel like you're more old school bikes, and Brian's got more of the.
But see, I think some of that though is not Brian. It's Brian with a dealership background understands some of the customer bases. So when he built his shop, he saw this happening and he did it. Now, because I know when Brian goes, I'm going to go ride my bike, he pulls out a gorgeous FXR and go rides around.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he'd be on Thomas Drive doing wheelies.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's I think for him, he has, and I think he knows it. He's almost sometimes pigeonholed himself. Because I see it, he's like, this 26-inch Road King is a cool bike. But I want to turn wrenches on that FXR out there.
Yep.
So, whereas you, at the same time, have possibly almost pigeonholed yourself, we'll have to see what happens, because right now we're pushing very quickly into that younger generation, the guys that want the Harleys that go fast and do wheelies and stuff like that. But if that changes and guys start wanting big wheels again, you're going to be going, I don't want to turn wrenches on a big wheel.
And to me, it's always been more of almost like an art. for years my shop was just me.
Yeah.
So, but if you work for me and I give you a T-shirt with my name on it, or your wife, your wife probably won't wear that shirt out on a Friday night if it's my name. It's weird, right?
Right.
So that's where 850 came. So
Yeah.
850 actually came from my buddy Garrett Jackson as a local fireman, and they were building bicycles. He likes building cool shit.
Yeah.
They were building bicycles out of the fire stations here until the chief was like, "What are all these bicycles?" So we got together and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, this is what I started.
Yeah.
If you want to use the name," and I said, "Of course."
Yeah.
And for Florida, we actually have more people file Schedule C income with the IRS in our area as artists. Because of 30A, because we're not really the art district of Florida, but we do have more singers, songwriters, sculptors. And for me, motorcycles are I like cool shit, but I like building. The Red Dine is cool. Stuff like Joe's bike that's out there, like square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
Because I took a parts background and I know that 41 millimeter stuff fits, and you can make just about anything work if you know what you're doing.
Well, and it's your little the shop sports shirt around here around the corner. First of all, when was the last time you seen a? I know. When was the last time you seen a Buell running down the road? Okay, first of all, but second of all, there was an age, and it's probably close to 20 years ago, where guys were doing that. Guys were piecing together Sportsters and Buells.
Yep.
And you don't see that anymore. So when you walk up to that bike from a distance, you go, "Hey, that thing's got a vertical front suspension." You walk up, you go, "That's a Buell front end." So, but I think to the little bit older generation of the younger rider group, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Right.
They see that, and instead of going, "Oh, that's got a Buell front end," they go, "Oh, it's got a Buell front end."
Right.
It's a totally different reaction
level,
to that.
Yeah, because I have my customers that geek out over that recently, those forks are older than they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm actually building another one. I've got a built motor. I've got some other cool stuff for another one, and that one started from. I bought it from a meth head for $600. That frame has
A meth head in Florida? I would have never guessed that.
who drove a Miata. he's still a good dude, but he drives a Miata and listens to like trance music. And but there's 18 inches of a 39 millimeter fork tube in that backbone.
Really?
Yeah, because we pieced the frame together.
Okay.
Mike from 47 Fab, back in 2012.
Yeah.
Shipped me the whole, because he was doing all those cool Sportster hardtails back then.
Yeah.
He shipped me the whole ass end of one of those for like $80.
Okay.
Because I said, "Hey, do you got?" Because the rear end was all, it was messed up bad.
What's cool about that Sportster is when I see it, since I've known you since 2016, that's 850 bike. That is, when I think of 850, I think of that bike. Because that's the first bike I saw when I walked in here was that bike. It's a sentimental piece of this shop too.
Thank you.
Well, I
love
think
it.
a plus for you with something like that, talk about that land of misfit toys, is when you ride that out or whatever, or somebody rides it and they ride it to the gas station or something like that, and you got somebody that doesn't know who you are, but they are that guy that has the clapped out Dyna or something like that.
Yeah.
And they get excited when they see that's a Buell inverted front suspension, and your name's all over the bike, so they're going, "What is this? I got to find out more information about this."
Mm-hmm. I've had it in down to I've had it on Main Street. That was a bike. If you follow Tim Howley at all, I kicked Tim Howley like in the side of the face. Drunk one time on Main Street, push starting that bike, and I have a lot of memories. I have friends all over the country that have either been on that bike. Battery died, push started it. They helped me pick it up if I wrecked it. Yeah. But when it was on Main Street, I parked it right on A1A. I grew up going to Daytona when I was a kid, and I love it down there. And I had people post pictures of my bike that, it was like artsy, and it was cool. I'll have to see if I can get one. They might be on my 850 Speed Shop Facebook page. But it was cool to see like a cameraman, a guy with a nice digital camera take like a picture of Daytona in the background, and he chose my bike. Out of everything on Main Street, that is the dirty bike he took pictures of.
Well, I feel all of the motorcycle companies, not just the motor company itself, but realistically, all the brands that are manufacturing motorcycles right now are trying to find a way to capture that image, because that is the way motorcycles are going. And for these motorcycle companies, they want to sell new bikes.
Yep.
So they're trying to do stuff to capture that, to make someone go, I can have that at $5,000, but I'm going to spend 15 or 20.
Yeah.
And it is hard to get somebody to come out of pocket. I mean, when it's hard to get, when someone goes, oh, I just need my belt changed. And you're like, well, it's $500. And they're like, what?
Yeah, right. I know.
So, I mean, it's one of those things to capture that image and bring in that generation, because when you look at the median age of your Harley rider, dude, unfortunately right now it's still like 55 to 65 years old is the median age.
Yep.
But in your parking lot last night it was probably 40.
Yeah, it really was. And I think that's what I like about our bike nights is the variety in it, because it's always kind of a reminder to me, because I handle customers on a, one at a time, 5 at a time type base, but I love nights like last night where it's everybody, you know. But stepping back a little bit, bikes, you don't have to build, bikes don't have to be $100,000 to enjoy them.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that right now, and guys with crazy price tags on bikes. And I mean, selling something for 20 and under is great. I'll probably never sell a $40,000 motorcycle. Yeah. But it's because I build stuff like that Sportster that I started with $600. The first time it ever ran, I had less than $1,800 in it.
Yeah.
It's the most fun I've ever, and that's been, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and 17 states. And my dad, after I went riding with my dad on it, dad watched me ride my Sportster, and dad watched me ride my FXR, and he's like the Sportster is, you just put it anywhere. He's watched me through curves. And I mean, dad watched me grow up racing motocross and stuff, so that's the bike, like, at the end of the day, I'm most comfortable on.
Yeah.
Even though, I'm getting used to the bagger and the street glides are cool and everything, and I love my FXR, it fit me well, but I trust the Sportster.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different beast. But you don't have to spend, at different times in my life when I was, the brokest I ever was in my life, and I was dreaming about motorcycles. I used to go to this gas station in Tallahassee and buy these like Cycle Trader magazines, and randomly I post pictures at that gas station, and like 10 people in the world know why I do. But I used to tell people back then, I'm like, hey, I would ride a milk jug if it had 2 wheels and a motor.
Yeah.
And, I actually had a cool chopper before that.
Yeah.
And I love my chopper, but the Sportster just it's me. It feels right. And even today, after everything I've ever put in that bike, I don't have $3,000 in it.
Yeah.
Even with the like brand new tires I've put on it through the years, and it's just, you don't have to have an $800 bike payment.
Yeah.
To love it.
Well, it's definitely, like I said, a reflection of what this is becoming. We're down here, and Thunder Beach Production does a great job of putting on this event every year. They have the big concerts, and they have the big venues that everybody wants to go to and stuff like that. But you still have to have spots like yours and Brian's to also bring in the group, because there's people that come down here. There's people here this week that will not step foot in that Harley shop parking lot. Yep. They won't step foot at Frank Brown.
Yep.
They're going to Newbies. They're going to Sick. They're coming here. They're hanging out at those places. Yep. And that's what they want to do. They just want to come down here and hang out with their friends.
Yep.
They don't care that it's this big motorcycle rally. For them, it is Bike Week, and Thunder Beach has conveniently set these dates aside.
Yep.
So you don't have to go, oh, when are we going to go to the beach? Oh, this is when we're going to the beach, because this is when the Bike Week is happening and stuff like that. And it's just fantastic. That Sportster's a prime example of it. I mean, the bikes that you've got sitting around are examples of that. I'm sure when you ride the Black Dyna with the inverted front suspension, when you go somewhere on that, you probably have a bunch of people ask you about that front end.
Well, and most people think that bike is stock, and that's another one that I built that I don't even want to admit what I don't have in it total, just because it was one of those. I paid less than $100 for both those fork legs. You know, it's stuff that I scored at a swap meet. There's a whole backstory behind it, but you know, I built it with one of my best friends, Parker. He was here last night in a white shirt. He has the Area 51 colored blue. It's like a Pan, it's a Pan Evo.
I've seen that bike running around a bunch.
So, you know, Parker and I, he's Park.chops on Instagram. But I built that bike with him. It was originally mine, and then we got about halfway through it, and he's like, hey, do you want to sell it? And I was like, yep. And I mean, at that point, I think I sold it to him, the base of it, for $1,800.
That's insane.
I mean, I was like, I'll sell it to you for what I have in it, you know. And those are the ones that I love, and I'll never, like, I've had it up for sale, and I might make some changes to it. I want to do some other things to the motor, and I've got a different pipe and some things for it, but that bike just, I want a mountain trip. I need to get some other dynos done, and we need to come up there, and we're gonna go follow you guys through the twisties. We won't be able to keep up, but I grew up riding flat roads. I mean, Michigan's a little curvy, you know, but Florida's
just straight.
Florida's all straight. So
yeah, if you want to hit a twisty, you have to go down here to the curve and just ride it multiple times.
We got like 2 roads in the county. There's one up towards Defuniak. If y'all ever want to get out of town, there's about a 45-minute stretch up there. It's beautiful to get out of town. Just long sweepers and farms, and you know, I take people on that road, and people have lived here for 30 years. And they don't even know it's there.
I might have been through that area. So when we come down out of Chattanooga, when we're coming down, I guess it's 231 out of Dothan. Right before you get to I-10, you're in some tiny little town.
Yep, Campbellton.
And if you're following Waze, it'll tell you to take a right on a county road.
Yeah.
And it winds you like zigzag through farmland.
Yeah.
And it finally drops you out on 79. And it's like, we're coming through there, and I'm like, man, it's
beautiful.
These are some cool little roads.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know when you're there. Panama City's just right over here.
Yeah. And that's, I ended up that way after the hurricane. I had to go up and around. Everything was demolished then, but I was up there in that area. I actually followed like a Florida State trooper. She took us on like some crazy back roads and stuff because that road was blocked off. Yeah. But it's the last time I was up there. It was almost 5 years ago. I need to go hit that road. Yeah.
So what was it, talk about the hurricane. What was it like after October 2018 here?
Well, in October, that year, we actually had 2 stores. So I had started if you're familiar with like the House of Machines in Cape Town, South Africa, there's one in LA now, and I think Chicago is going to get one. But I wanted more of like a motorcycle cafe. Yeah. So we actually had I had a building that used to be it was a Studebaker building in the 50s. It was Honda motorcycles in the 70s, and luckily for me, in the hurricane, I didn't lose any customers' bikes. Yeah. I lost a lot of personal stuff, and the building got absolutely destroyed. But the beauty of being in the same location, I learned 2 weeks. We were closed here for 2 weeks, no power, no phone. But a lot of people became like nomads on motorcycles. Like we probably did 100 tubes and tires in about 3 months. Yeah. Because everybody, if their truck was damaged, they rode their bike. Yeah. If they got a nail in their tire, I mean, the amount of nails we pulled out of stuff, and roof and nails, and then there were some people that didn't ride their bikes for years. But I remember being here 2 weeks after we opened the doors. My phones weren't even on, and just people were relieved we were here.
So let me ask this question. This is not a motorcycle question. So where me and Joey are at, which Joey's an hour 20 minutes up the road from me, we have tornadoes on a fairly regular basis. Now y'all get tornadoes here. Y'all just had one touchdown a couple weeks ago. But we have 3 months of the year that if they're like, hey, tornado, it's like, okay, it's that time of year. Yep. So, and I've been, we had I can't remember if it was an F3 or F4. It hit close enough to my house that everything was fine as soon as you step out my front door. but when you went 100 yards to the right, power poles are snapped. Half a mile down the road, buildings are gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never been through a hurricane though. Personally, Michael is one of the biggest hurricanes on record.
Yeah.
So, what was that experience like? I'm sure you've been through other hurricanes. Getting chills. I mean, I know you've been through probably other hurricanes, but it's one of those things. Michael, there's so many people, and I was still going to come and help out who I could.
Yeah.
But they had shut down the state pretty much. We couldn't get. I rent our condo from a personal friend. They weren't even letting him in because he's not a full-time resident.
Yeah.
But there was people that could sneak across the border, come down and help. Did, because when you come out of, basically all of Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Panama is their home away from home.
Yeah.
So you had so many people that cared.
And the amount of support we had was just, I mean, it goes both ways actually, because initially it was amazing, and then within a month, the news, Panama City's recovered.
Yeah.
This year's 5 years. I have customers of mine that will never recover. They still haven't recovered.
Yeah.
Up until about a year and a half ago, I had a customer who was still lying to his kids about where their toys were because he never told his kids.
You can still drive down the road and see houses that have blue tarps on them.
Yeah. So it was.
I mean, our tornado that we had was almost 2 years ago now, and there's still houses that are just foundations.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's still there's parts of our town that will never recover.
I mean, you go to Panama proper.
Yeah.
There's buildings that are still just leveled. They put up the tip fences around it and haven't done anything else.
And we all have our own hurricane stories and memories from the day. A lot of my memories of it, you just kind of go into recovery mode. But I pack a little bit differently now. I don't currently have a go bag packed, but I did for a couple years just to be prepared of it. And everybody's, it gets cloudy and depending on the season, people's nerves you're like, okay, my anxiety's going up. And, everybody recovers differently, but the hurricane really, I was down in my other downtown store when there was still stuff, it was flooded. I had some random guys stop and help me. Listen, there's things in here that I got out of there that I found 2 years later. There was so much going on, I didn't know I had it, But the amount of support that everybody had here in this area, and it was crazy because, so many people became lumberjacks, and people went from working like menial jobs to literally hustling 16, 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
And it's something that I don't want to say I missed that, but there was just a certain level of hustle, and everybody helped everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, losing the other store, his stuff, the building, I'm bummed about, but we still had this. I had very minimal damage here, and I went and found my guys, and both my guys that worked for me at the time lost vehicles.
Yeah.
So that was huge. Transportation, so I could write Honda a pretty crazy review about places I took my truck. Joe actually bought it from me after the hurricane, but I'd never been off road like I was. Those first I was up almost 3 days when it first happened, because you're just going and going and going. But yeah, it makes me want to go and help people around the rest of the country. I met Moonshiner Josh in Bluntstown at a gas station when he was coming here, because that's what he does. He helps people in southern states recover from natural disasters, and it showed me that it's something I could definitely do. I remember being just completely emotionless, though. I went and found a couple hundred people in town. If I was in town and knew where you were at, I'd come check on you. Yeah. And I'd come hug you, and I'd leave. And they'd look at me like, what? And but I was like, okay, you're alive, you're safe, you're good. And it's something I hope we never in our lifetime have to go through, because it's life changing. I mean, my girlfriend's, we talk about it a little bit, but there's definitely some stress around her hurricane experience that you don't want to open that PTSD up. And so when it rains, I'm always like, I'll literally track her and be like, okay, where are you at?
Yeah.
Because I mean, weather gets crazy quick, and everybody gets yeah, it makes everybody a little bit on edge.
It's I think definitely up there. Everybody that considers, like I said, Panama their second home. That time of year, every time there's a hurricane, they're paying very close attention.
Everybody gets worried.
Yeah, they're like, man, I hope they're going to be okay. Missed bike week. Oh no, that's not the end of the world. But unfortunately, for a lot of people down here, it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was really tough for us, and it was pretty hard coming to bike week that following spring rally, because I mean, there was still, it literally looked like it had just happened the week before when we came down that April.
Well, and there's we could call 1,000 of my customers that would all get into a heated argument and be pissed off about it, and what they did when they canceled our bike week here, and rumors whatever. They took our tourism money that they spend on it here, and they promoted it in Fort Walton. Right, it all went to the Emerald Coast Harley Davidson. I'm not calling anybody out specifically, but they posted and promised all this money back to Bay County.
Yeah,
and it never came back. There was nothing. Like there's so many people and so many of my really good customers and friends that can explain to you 10 different situations where that happened, where we were kind of the forgotten. It was devastating and still is.
Yeah.
And there's people that 3-4 weeks after the storm were like, oh, they're recovered, they're fine.
Yeah.
But they
promised, that's definitely how that made it sound on the news.
Oh yeah.
But I'm fortunate enough that I read between the lines, and I was seeing what I knew people down here, what they were posting.
Yeah.
And versus what was being said on the news. And then at the same time, I actually follow Panama City Beach City Council, and we'll watch their city council meetings sometimes.
Yeah.
And I didn't start doing that till after the hurricane.
Mm-hmm. So Bay County Sheriff,
start paying attention to those things.
I have a star or a top tag. I love, Bay County Sheriff here. I share all their stuff too, but they have some of the best news. Our sheriff, we always have some pretty badass sheriffs in town. And, they're a good one to follow. WJH, just our two news outlets are always good too, because there's so many. And then Josie with Biker Bulletin is the other one that's local here. If there's an accident, you hear about it. If there's a hurricane, you hear about it. If you want the real deal, she'll post about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, during that time, I remember day of that iPad was actually sitting on my table. We were watching the radar thing. And I had texted all my brothers and sisters, all my immediate family, and I said, do not watch the news. This is before it happened. I said, no, don't watch the news. Don't believe anything that you see online. Nothing. Don't respond to this text. Don't call me. I'll call you. Nobody even responded to it. I have screenshots of it because I never thought that nobody would respond.
Yeah, everybody's someone's going to be like, okay. Like, damn it! I said don't respond to it.
But that was my way of communication with my family, and I sat in a gas station parking lot in Defuniak and woke up both my parents. And there was a news. When I was in downtown, there's a video that Fox News shared, and that's how my mom knew I was alive.
You were on the news?
Yeah, when I find it, I'll share it with you. So because I walk up to this guy, this Mark Hurst, that's downtown, and I said, "Hey man, can you help me load my race bike, that blue Yamaha?" And he was like, "Hey, can you help me get these cats out of this building?" And he just didn't want to go in. It's in downtown Panama City. The brick was all destroyed. The parts of the building collapsed, but they have stray cats, and they own an appliance company. And so you see Mark and I walk up and shake hands, and so that's how my parents knew I was alive after. So by the time I called them, they'd already seen the video. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
But I was in the downtown area when there was some guys shooting. They were looking for like a guy with, automatic automatic weapon, driving around with an FJ Cruiser. He had flashed like an AR or something, and it was we were pretty chaotic for a while. I open carried in my downtown store openly for a long time when I was cleaning up the mess.
I mean, I feel like it kind of became a little bit of martial law.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll be honest. The first day, right? I live on Panama City Beach side, and Tim and we cut our way out of the house to get vehicles out of the driveway.
Yeah. I
literally make it I'm crossing the bridge, and there's the storm chaser guy there has his black Tahoe, and it's chained to the Hathaway Bridge. And about the time I come over the bridge, it's the first time I'd really seen anybody. And I look over, and my pistol and my flashlight, I'd left it on my kitchen counter. I didn't take it with me. And I said, shit.
There's no turnaround on that bridge?
No, there was no turnaround. But, there's so many, like, key points. But that was like oh, shit, okay, we're good. Because I didn't know what in town was like.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the first day was pretty sketchy. But I just, like my parents and my brothers and sisters, of course, they're 1,200 miles away. They can't. They're not going to come and help. And but just letting family know that. And I mean, that was a huge deal. I bet 100 people used my cell phone once it came back on. Yeah. I think I got a temp. I had a temp phone or whatever, but nobody had service down here.
Yeah.
There was, there's, like I was saying, I got 100 customers that will bitch about something because people really got screwed. Cell service here was terrible. And they promised us the world. I mean, there was all these temp stuff anyway, but it was just not a lot of the recovery efforts. It's a struggle for people.
Well,
you don't hear this side of stuff on the news, like what he goes through and
right.
everybody goes through. They just tell you the base points that they want you to hear.
It's
eye-opening.
The really shitty thing about the hurricane was not even necessarily the hurricane, but you go into a recovery state, and then a year and a half later, they want to shut down the country.
Yeah.
You hadn't even recovered yet.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
And they're shutting down the country again.
Yeah.
For something, not trying to be political, but now there's a lot more people that were like, no, it's real, that are going, maybe something was up because the goalpost kept getting moved.
Oh, yeah.
So now, but you go from, we're talking 18 months.
Yeah, it was.
Because you had we had spring 2020.
God,
and then they canceled fall 2020.
Yeah.
But I think the people that come down here on a regular basis, they weren't going to let it stop them because you were still able to get into the state in October 2020, and that's when we had, everybody called it the Coven Run. Yeah, we did the Grand Lagoon Run.
Yeah.
And there were so many people, and the upside about that, I love the alibi. I would have never known about the alibi if it had not been for COVID.
Yep. And it's there's a lot of cool little places down here that have that, and it's neat to see that they've done something with that because it was the quarter deck, I think, in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And then that building sat vacant for years. I drove by it and I always liked it. Now it's cool to see it come, become something.
Well, if you ever wanted to start another cafe, the Kawasaki shop in Panama proper.
We're working on that. I would love to. If I had,
you know where I'm talking about too, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
That's a dope spot too.
So back originally when that was built, it was a truck stop.
Was it?
So that's
I was gonna say it has a very vintage look to it.
Yeah,
that's you right there.
If I had any investors that are would help with that, and now we're moving that direction. It's all relevant because we've everybody in Florida, everybody recovers from something differently.
Yeah,
I've recovered from every a fire in 2016, a hurricane in 18, COVID was everybody just dealt with COVID, but everybody my love for motorcycles, and I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna go get a job. I love building stuff, but I'm not gonna go be a roofer.
Yeah.
For a living. I'm always gonna do motorcycles. It's just part of it. But over the years, that's how everybody's recovered, and that's what's really kept us in the business. And the hurricane changed my whole idea of like a dream shop. Literally, if you would ask me August of 18 what my dream shop was, it's completely different than what it became, say November 10th, a month after the hurricane. So the buildings I used to look for, I moved to Bay County in 2005. I've probably looked and been in 36 different buildings in this county. Only 2 or 3 of them are standing. Every building I've ever looked at is either gone or the property's gone completely. This home base for me here, this is the only building. I had a tiny little roof leak 3 months after the hurricane.
Yeah.
We didn't do any damage to this building, luckily.
Well, this thing is looked pretty solid of a building.
When I had a fire in 2016, they came back in and spray foamed everything.
Yeah.
And I think the spray foam, this 5,000 square feet is all spray foamed.
Yeah.
And the buildings back there, I was in a temp space after the fire, and it ripped parts of the roof and fronts of the building off back there.
So the foam helped hold it together?
Oh, I think it did. I guarantee it did. But it's funny how all that changes, because now I'm like, okay, I want a block building, I want a low roof.
Yeah.
Like, it's all these metal and red oxide and steel buildings just didn't hold up.
Yeah.
And I'm even like, okay, maybe I can get, maybe for the shop area, I know a guy who built a pawn shop and he overbuilt it like a bank. It's over on Cherry Street in town. It's perfect. Not an issue with the building at all. And I'm like, I want to reinforce my walls, because I don't care if it's a $5,000 Dyna, a $20,000 bagger. Having to ever call a customer and be like, "Hey, your bike is gone." I want to protect that $5,000 Dyna like I would a $40,000 CVO or something.
And I get that 100%. You have those customers, and I'm sure you have them here too. They'll be like, "Oh, do you know how much money I've spent?" It's like, I don't care how much money you spent. Not being rude by going, "Oh, it doesn't matter to me how much money you spent." No, every customer should be treated the same.
Yeah.
Whether you spend $100 or $100,000.
Yep.
If you're a customer, you're a customer, and you're going to be treated the same.
Yep.
You're going to be treated like family. And it's not, "Oh, you're just a customer." It's, no, you're family.
Yep. And
I've got people that come to the shop on a regular basis that don't spend anything, and they're like family, because they come to our bike nights.
Yep.
They come to our parties. They want to come. They want to hang out.
Customer of mine was here last night. He's from Atlanta. Awesome dude. He's been coming down. He's been in here 7-8 years. All his sons spend money with me. He's got a cool big wheel bagger. It never breaks when he's here, right?
Yeah.
He came by the other day. He called me Josh. We talked for 30 minutes. He called me Josh like 3 or 4 times, right? Last night he apologized to me. He said, "You let me call you Josh. You didn't even correct me." I said, "Listen, Anthony, you support my business. You sent customers to me. You call me anything. It really doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And it's I get excited every time. Like one of his sons called me the other day, and I recognized the number and the name on it, because their last name is Reynolds. They're just super nice. They all have cool big wheel baggers, and it's not what I build all the time, but they always have like little stuff. But I'm like, man, you call me anything. You support me. They were here last night. They brought like 6 or 8 people with them, and that's the crowd that otherwise wouldn't have come here. They came here because of him. And then they came and they had a great time, because I have a bunch of pictures of them in the photo booth.
So I know you got to get back to work. So I have one last question for you, and it's in regards to your history of riding dirt bikes, but not ancient history. Pan America.
I want one.
Have you rode one yet?
No. So
you come to Chattanooga. I've got a demo.
Okay.
I'll take you for a ride.
Okay. Because I've got pictures of riding. We did a flat track Sportster a couple years ago with a dual front end, and it was a cool bike. But we took that off road in Tennessee, and happiest times of my life are riding in the dirt. I love the street, but don't get me wrong. I mean,
I'm going to tell you now. You get a Pan America. If you ride one, you're going to buy one. Okay, that's just kind of the way it happens with those. But you'll end up buying 2, because that's where I'm at. I want one set up for the dirt, and then I want one with like 17s,
right,
stripped down.
Because a couple of these race bikes are,
Saddleman's got a pretty dope Pan America race bike,
and that's another, going to Bagger Racing.
That's
League.
the future too.
Yeah. So going to the Bagger Racing League a couple years ago really opened my eyes to the racing side of it. One day I'd love to get more into that. I mean, I grew up racing, competitive. I raced amateur motocross, District 14 in Michigan, back when Nick Way was the local badass, and I thought I was going to go pro. That's what I thought I was going to do my entire life. And, my love for motorcycles started with like my dad bought me a mini bike that had no motor, and we lived on a hill, and I would ride it down and make my sister push it back up.
Well,
that's still that kind of excitement is still there. Like when I ride my Sportster, or I'm not going to lie, the other day I rode a trike, and I really enjoyed it. And it was weird, and I loved it. But I was like, man, this is nice. Like,
yeah.
So, but that kind of excitement's always there. So the Panamera, though, my girlfriend has more of a sport bike background.
Mm-hmm.
If I own 17 Harleys right now, I showed her a picture of every single one of them. First date we went on, and she said, "Do you got any sport bikes?" And I said I got a Sportster with a Buell front end, and so the Panamera, if I can get one height wise that I think that's going to be right up her alley, and I'd love to have a pair of them because if her and I could go take some trips into her. And
well, the thing is too that you got to clear her on when it comes to that. It's just like with the dirt bikes, because people want to get on it and try and sit on it like they would a regular sport bike,
right,
or a dyno or something like that. And you go, no, 1 foot.
Yeah.
Give me 1 foot.
Yep.
So, and we see that all the time. I mean, I feel privileged in saying that at White Lightning, we're like the Pan America go-to people in the Southeast. I mean, we have done a lot with Pan America. Part of that is our general manager has a Pan America. You would love this thing. I'll show you pictures later. But he's completely customized it. It's got the Sunglow red that they did in 2012. The Pan America's been painted that color.
Yeah, really?
He had the swing arm custom painted like a satin silver. He's got his stickers on it and all this other stuff.
I want to. I've talked to Panama City Beach Harley. I had one a couple months ago. One of the parts guys was like, "Hey, you got to come look at this thing. They'll give you a deal on it." You know? And so I've got one. I've got that silver Cholo bike that's out here. That's my when I get it done and finished and we sell that, that's either half my Pan America, or maybe if I can sell it for 20, I get in a range of a used one, right?
Yeah.
Or 20, 21, or 24, 25 new, right?
Might be able to find you a better deal than that.
Okay, deal. And I might have a trade-in. That's we'll see what the next couple months is like.
We've had some go out the door a little bit less than that. So a couple pre-owned ones. People know. I mean, we've taken that step, and knowing that is the next generation. We do like an ADV riding course 4 times a year, teaching that and all that type of stuff.
My buddy Cody from Cavender's Customs has a African twin.
Yeah,
and I got on it, and it's just like, but it's so smooth,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping. I get that kind of vibe when I ride it.
You'll have a good time, and it's so insane that it can do what it does in the dirt, and then you just ride it on the road, and it's like, holy crap!
Because they're what, 150 horse, right? And
if you get the S model, which is the top end, it's 550 pounds wet weight.
Damn, yeah, it's light. What suspension wise? Because I'm short,
So on the S model, you can get the adjustable ride height suspension, which you can turn on and off. But with that, when you get, I think it's below 5 miles an hour, the suspension will actually lower 2 inches.
Okay,
so when you come up to like a light,
it
just automatically drops down 2 inches for you.
I gotta have that.
And then the seat, the factory seat has a 2-point adjustment on it, so you can put it in a high spot or a low spot, which gains you 1 inch. And then they actually make a low seat for it, which gains you another inch down. So technically, from a standard Pan America to one with the adjustable suspension, in the low seat, you can drop it 4 inches.
Wow. So that puts me in a lot better range. 2 inches it helped me a lot, but a 4-inch drop for the girlfriend, I think I could get her on one then.
Well, like I said, we've got some at the shop. You come up to Chattanooga and I'll take you riding.
So, I mean, I know.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all sell parts here?
Yeah, shop's next door.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
I was like,
no, you're good.
Yeah, it's all next door, man. I'll be right over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. The that parts aftermarket for it, because I know there's dudes that make like risers and some exhaust stuff. But what other what other types of parts do you see coming out for those as far as aftermarket stuff? Because I mean, how do you?
So
if it does so well, how do you make it better?
the only performance stuff so far is upgraded air filters and exhaust. That's your only engine performance stuff. But there are companies that are now outside of doing fully custom work, like what these big race companies and stuff do. There's several different companies that sell skid plates for them. Several different companies that sell bag setups for them.
Because there's really
riser setups.
There's not as much of a need
windshields,
for suspension stuff, right? Because you've got
fantastic suspension on the bike already.
Because I mean, I just had a customer here the other day that had a Yamaha.
I mean, realistically, if you're changing suspension, what you're doing is maybe upgrading to like an Öhlins or a Fox or something, but you're also losing that adjustability.
Right.
And the guys that are doing that are doing it because they want something that you could be very aggressive off-road with.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's already pictures and videos of guys, launching stock Pan Americas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
I was that guy when those first, through the years as they've released those videos, and I'm the guy like YouTube at 2 a.m. just watching those.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's always been right there because it's the it's the power, it's the suspension.
Yeah.
It's the when I built my Sportster, it had 16-inch V-rod shocks on it.
Yeah.
It was set up like an adventure bike.
Yeah.
Like when I wrecked it in the dirt with him, that was
2016.
Was it?
It was
Okay,
16,
yeah.
so we
So
did
that
that
was
cold ride in January.
that was 7 years ago, and it was tall as hell, but it handles better lower, but it was so much more fun.
It was awesome to watch.
Well, so if it's any, since you know some dirt, if it's any inkling to really what these could do, obviously there's all kinds of pictures and videos and stuff like that. You never really know the rider or the bike.
Right.
We took in 21, we took a gentleman by the name of Matt Kelly. So he is I can't remember if it was 2016 or 2018, but he is the GS Trophy champ, doing the GS Dakar stuff.
Yeah.
On a big GS.
Oh yeah.
We get hooked up with him through a mutual friend, and we go, hey, we have our store demo. This is our bike that people come to the store and test ride.
Yeah.
Okay. The only things on this bike were a set of risers and a skid plate.
Damn.
And we go, hey, here's this bike. We're going to let you do it. And he puts it through the ADV trials competitions.
Oh, shit.
And dominating on this thing. Enough that it was 7-8 months later, it was like, hey, we got a good deal on a used one. He's like, I'll take it.
Damn.
Like before he even knew what the price was. It was just, we got a good deal on a used one.
What's the weight difference in like the GS when you see like the Icon, the old Icon videos and stuff? What do they weigh? What's the difference in weight on those?
On the Icon videos, they're riding Tiger 800 XCs. So they're riding a smaller bike.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Those bikes are still like 450, 475.
Right, yeah.
So, but if you go to like that, we'll say between 1100, so Africa Twin, to a 1250 Pan America GS, stuff like that. Realistically, anything in that range kind of falls anywhere between 500 to 600 pounds. Like all the manufacturers, they fall in like 100 pound weight variants.
Yeah.
And then probably somewhere between a 25 to 35 horsepower variants.
Wow.
So with Pan America, Pan America on the power being at the top end of that, and being in middle range on weight.
Wow.
So, but their seat heights are all relatively in the same market.
Yeah.
Weight's all relatively in the same market. Power's relatively on the same market.
Close.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm 5'10", that thing still sits higher.
I mean,
than
it's a competition.
My dirt bike. Like,
Yeah, but
how am I going to get on this thing?
Sean is what, 6 foot?
Yeah.
6'1". And I mean, we've got guys that ride them that I think Chuck, our guy that got us hooked up with Matt, I think Chuck's probably about 5'10" and rides a Pan America. On the regular, and he came from riding Sportster Scramblers.
Oh wow.
And has a Pan America.
Yeah. So that's
So.
Huh. Yeah, I want.
And he's like 70 too, so don't make him make him
really?
look bad. Yeah.
I got a few customers like that. I just told one of mine the other day. I said, man, I hope I'm in your shape when I'm your age.
Yeah.
And he's like, he said, you know how old I am? He's 78.
Yeah.
He looks 60, 55.
Yeah. Staying active is what it is.
Yeah. So and later, I said, hey, what advice would you have? He goes, lose some, he said anything over, when you get to about 50, he said, make sure you're not overweight. He said, lighten yourself as much as you can. And he's not a muscular guy, but I mean, he whips around, baggers and any bikes he has like nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you saw him in a store, you wouldn't think he's almost 80.
Yeah.
And he wants to ride motorcycles for another 20 years.
Go
and he
for
probably
it.
will.
Go for it.
And it's stuff like that. I mean, that's the one thing about, all of my customers and everybody. I put one of my friend's kids was here last night, and she's, I think she's 9 years old. I put her on my bagger and started it.
Yeah.
And just that excitement. That's the same thing I see when like our American Legion riders and stuff come and sit on these motor builds after we do them, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool."
See,
I love that.
We try and push like that family atmosphere of motorcycles.
Yeah.
Hard at the shop. We do. We have Santa's there on Saturdays doing pictures through December. The Easter Bunny is there on the Saturday before Easter. We do trunk or treat on Halloween. So it's pushing that. Hey, this is a family place. Bring your family. Because I have people that go, oh, that's kind of more of an adult place. And I tell them, I go, because I have people ask me, they're like, is it family friendly? And I go, if it's not family friendly, you'll know because I'll tell you. Otherwise it is.
Yep. And that's the community atmosphere. Without my customers and my community, I don't have a motorcycle shop.
Yeah.
So I get that same thing. People are like, oh, can I bring my kids? Of course you can.
Yeah.
I would never, I mean, there might be some language on some things maybe I wouldn't recommend, but normally, I mean, we had, I think Whitney's baby that was here last night, I think he's, 3 months old.
Yeah.
But normally, I mean, we had puppies here last night, and the community aspect of it is I think more fun for me than anything,
Yeah. It's definitely a good time.
Hey,
sounds like you got bikes rolling up and all kinds of stuff. I saw a belt.
You might want to,
So
which bike is he on?
He's on
his bike.
It's still.
It's still got some teeth.
But
Look, don't make me pull my partial out. I made a joke last night.
All I'm gonna say is,
hang on. That's what his belt looks like right now.
Oh man!
Come on, we're still on here.
Come on, we're still recording right now. Just tell them how much you love them. Yeah, that's my teeth.
So what happened? You just
I got about 48 seconds away from here, and I just yeeted it.
I can't believe it's shredding those teeth like that.
I mean, it's hey, listen, if y'all come down to Panama, come down to 850 Speed Shop, give Vaughn all your freaking money, give that man hugs, bring him beers, bring him everything.
This is family shop right here.
So
just come down and enjoy it,
and bring him money.
Do this. The next 12 months, we'll put it this way. The next 12 months, anybody that comes to Panama City, comes to your shop, buys a t-shirt from Vaughn, if you'll give them a discount, I'll kick back what you discounted.
Okay. Always, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like I give away a lot of T-shirts because it's good advertising for me. We
He
sponsor.
meant with a $5 donation to drinks at the shop.
So, what do you sell your t-shirts at? 20, 25?
Yeah, $20.
Oh, wow.
50, 2 for 30. But
So-
we do trade out. So Eric Pascal.
Yeah.
Eric rides a Hoka Hey. He owns a T-shirt shop.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Eric he's got 3-4 bikes. He gets
I've got-
priority on all his stuff.
So I was talking to him the other night because I actually have Hoka Hey stickers on my side covers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've got a couple customers that are Hoka Hey guys and
He's
stuff like
a
that.
badass. That frame that's over there that just got wheeled in, that's Eric's 2011 Road Glide frame that he split that PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
That's how he lost an eye. He was on that
Yeah.
bike.
Well, like I
And-
said, anybody that comes in here to buy a t-shirt, say, hey man, I heard you on the Daily Biker podcast. Get him a t-shirt, sell it to him for $10 or $15. Let me know what the difference is and we'll cover it.
Anything. We'll take pictures and tag you on Instagram or Facebook. What's the best? Where do you have more?
Instagram.
Probably
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah. This is the younger generation.
Yeah, no, it's.
Facebook
I love it,
Facebook is for old people.
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson's social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.